Welcome everyone to Breaking It Down with Brickitect episode 7. This is the series that motivates me to take all of the Lego sets I built recently that are strewn about the studio, take them apart, put them in their boxes, and store them properly on my shelves. I want to thank everyone that asked a question in the last episode. I picked out some really good ones that I thought could make some great conversation here, so let's get into it. Oh, this first one that I got is so good. I'm going to save this for a podcast episode. I could talk about this at length. Let's go to the next one. This question is from Tracy, who says, you have such a great YouTube community and a positive channel. What are the drawbacks to having a YouTube channel and raising your son in that world? And the first thing that came to my mind when I read this were the YouTube comments. 99% of them are nothing but positive and make you feel so good. But then there's that 1% of comments that are just very negative, that are either criticizing something you do or say, or saying something bad about me or Clark or my parenting of Clark. And that stuff's very hurtful. And unfortunately, those are the ones that stick with you when you read comments. That's probably the biggest drawback right now, that kind of criticism that you get from putting your life out there and putting yourself out into the world. But I would think that maybe going forward, like when Clark goes to school, I think there may be some drawbacks there. I don't know whether the other kids, when they find out that he has a YouTube channel, are going to think that he's some type of hero or superstar, or they're going to make fun of him, or probably make fun of him because his dad's a goofball. But that's possible in our future, so we'll have to see where that goes as he gets a little older. The next question comes from Richie Studios, who says, do you think when Clark gets to his teenage years, he will still want to hang out and make videos with you? And I think about this a lot, not necessarily the video part, but just the hanging out part. Like, Clark is my little buddy, and I love this relationship that we have. I worry about the day that someday he's too cool to hang out with his old man, or he goes off and has his own friends, and I'm here by myself in the Brickitect studio. But that's a part of life. Eventually, my little bird is going to fly away and start his own nest. And I guess that's just a part of being a parent. The next one comes from the Stud Studio. It says, why do you refer to your logo as the Brickitect Journey logo? Mostly wondering about the Journey part. Actually, it was Brickstar that came up with the Journey part. I think it was either I sent him one of our logos or he made that giant logo and he called it the Brickitect Journey logo. And I really love that because it symbolizes our channel. This is our Lego collecting journey. So the Brickitect Journey logo became a thing, and I'm very thankful that he came up with that because that's way beyond my level of creativity. The next one comes from Retro Loser, who says, hi Greg, do you ever get recognized out in public? And I do. It's kind of crazy when it happens, but it's also really cool. Like, you put these videos out to the world and you picture just strangers watching them. But when you're in like a Target, like we've been recognized at Target before, we got recognized out trick-or-treating in our local town. We got recognized at our pool, like a public pool, community pool. Like, it happens. And it's really cool to have people come up to you and be like, we watch your videos, we love your stuff. And I just really appreciate it when people do that. I've had people tell me that they've seen us, but we're afraid to come up. If you ever see us out and about, if you live in central Pennsylvania, come up and say hi. We got recognized at a fair once. We got recognized, of course, at a Thomas, Day Out with Thomas. We got recognized there because that's like our thing. But it's so cool to meet the parents and the kids that watch our videos. Actually, no kids are watching this. I take that back, YouTube. No kids are watching our videos. Next question comes from the Brick Destroyer. I love that name, although it does have the word brick in it. It says, if you and Clark really loved an older set that was very expensive nowadays, like for example, Pirates of the Caribbean, the Black Pearl, like it's not even worth all the money, but both of you really wanted it, would you buy it for the experience, even though it was very expensive? And the answer is yes. I'm trying to get away from this cheapitect mentality where I don't buy something because I deem it to be too expensive. If there's something that I really want and I have the means to do it, and it's a high priority for me or for Clark, I'm going to make it happen. Again, I'm trying to look at Lego sets like pieces of art, and you can't say that a piece of art is only worth the canvas and the paint that's on it. It's worth whatever value that you or other people put on it. So absolutely, if there was something that we really wanted, I would pull the trigger on it demonetized. Next up, we got Lego Wards, who asks, if your channels get demonetized in January, say it isn't so. What would you do to make money? Would you still make videos? Yes, I would still make videos regardless. Even if YouTube determines that my videos are for kids, I'm still going to make the videos that I want to make. You're not going to stop me from doing what I love to do. If everything gets demonetized and I don't have any money coming in, I'm probably going to have to get creative. I may have to do the Patreon thing a good bit harder, which, speaking of that, thank you, Lego Wards. If you want to join our Patreon, you can do any amount at all, $1 or more. It really does help the channel. I appreciate it. I think we have 23 patrons right now, which is really cool. I would probably try to do that, maybe try to sell some Brickitect t-shirts, try to find other means outside of the like AdSense that YouTube runs off of. Maybe I'd have to go to Twitch and start live streaming games, which would be really cool. Maybe that's our future for me and Clark too, is like an extra thing. I don't know, I guess I'd have to get creative, but I don't think that my entire channel is going to go down. At least I hope not. I'll let you know in January, but I can assure you that I'm not going to stop making videos. Don't worry about that. Next question comes from Clutch Power Productions. Says, will you be going to Legoland New York when it opens this summer? Yes, we will absolutely do that, being that it's so close to us. But I think before that, we're planning a Disney trip in February, which is a great time to go to Florida. I'll be going to Legoland in February. So maybe we'll go to Legoland twice in 2020, which would be really awesome, assuming that it's going to be done. He says this summer. Assuming next summer? Yeah, we'll go there. Next up, we have the Awakened Builder, who says, hello, Greg. This is the voice I'm giving him. I can relate to you because we are around the same age as well as experiencing Dark Age. So I was wondering, is there a set that you would love to buy now that you missed out on or couldn't afford at the time? And I thought about this. Most of my old school Lego collecting comes down to nostalgia. So it's all sets that I had in the past that I either want to rebuild or rebuy or whatever the case is. During my Dark Age, which was a very long time from like 1997 to 2013, I was completely out of Lego. So I really don't even know what I missed out on. So there isn't like one set that came out during that time that I'm like, I need to have that. But if you go back to like the early 90s and I look on eBay and I see some of these sets that I remember having when I was 5 or 6 or 7, I'm that old. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that intrigues me or that I'm really interested in, is just reliving that childhood experience with Lego with things that I recognize. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. Like if you see a picture of a toy or a set that you had at Christmas time and, you know, when you're 7 years old, that just brings so much warmth to your heart. And that's what I would want to collect. Next question is from Lego Man 123. It says, great video. I had one question. What was Mrs. Brickitect's reaction when she found out you collected Lego? Gave a video a huge like too. Rest of you guys do that as well. Keep up the good work. I'm trying to think, like it wasn't a big thing like when we first got together because I wasn't really collecting it. I do remember that I think we were maybe like 20 years old or something like that. And we got her Lego collection out of the attic or whatever. And we started building with that and having fun with it. And I think I integrated her collection into mine, but it wasn't like a thing like I had to be embarrassed about. And of course I didn't have an entire basement filled with Lego at the time. So I don't know. I think this would be a good podcast topic too, like talking to, you know, if you're a young dude and you're trying to court a woman or vice versa, there's women that collect Lego. How do you tell them that you are a huge Lego nerd without them being like, you're a huge Lego nerd? That's a good question. I think we should cover that in an upcoming episode. Next question is from T-Dubs20. Says, what set have you and Clark had the most fun with? And by far, it's been the trains that Pops sent us. We get those things out all the time, the 9-volt trains. Clark loves those. By far, the most fun out of anything that we've ever collected is definitely the trains that Pops sent us. We are approaching the end here. This one is from Cherry Bomb Productions. It says, sorry I missed this. My question is, if Clark wasn't born, how different would the way you carry your channel be? Well, I think I'd be much more secure about YouTube determining that it's not a kid's channel. Having Clark in it definitely leads to, I think, younger kids watching. And we're a little bit crazier and more animated, I suppose, especially Clark, man. If it was just me, you guys would probably be bored to death with this channel because it'd just be me talking about what I love about Lego and building things and collecting stuff. And maybe some of you would still like that, but I think Clark adds a whole nother element to this that I really love. And it makes my passion for building stuff and collecting that much more because he's a part of it. If he wasn't here, I probably wouldn't be going nearly as hard as what I am on this channel. And I would probably have a harder time like staying motivated on it. I guess in addition to that, mail time would pretty much disappear too, because I think 98% of the stuff that people send us is for Clark, man, and for good reason. All right, I think we finally come down to the end here. This is from Christopher Butler, who says, hey, Brickitect, would you ever give up Lego and find another hobby like model railroading? I don't think I would give up Lego. Like, I feel like Lego is always gonna be a part of my life. As I mentioned before, I'd really like to get into more of the creative aspect of it as opposed to getting set after set. I want to build things of my own, but I could see us dedicating more time to other things, like we're doing that with RC trucks and stuff now. If you listen to the last Missing Pieces podcast, you know a little bit more about that. I just find things that we love doing together and I put my time into that. If it's Lego, it's Lego. If it's RC trucks, it's that. Whatever our next thing is, because I know there's going to be another thing. Maybe it'll be video games. I don't know. This is our journey. This is what we do. And whether it's Lego or whatever it is, I'm going to bring you guys along with me on that journey. And I hope that you enjoy whatever it is we do. I hope you like us for more than just the sets that we're showing you. I hope you like us because of who we are and what we have to offer. So that's my dream for the world. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you found this informative, entertaining, educational, whatever it was, and you got to see some sets get torn apart. So on that, thank you so much for watching. If you do have a question for the next episode, leave it down below, and I might just choose your question to be answered. One last thing before we go, if you are going to ask a question, please don't make it a question about what's my favorite anything or ask me about any Lego themes. Those questions are a dime a dozen and bore me to tears. I would love to answer the bigger stuff, the big questions you have, your dreams, your wishes, whatever it is, throw it out there. and become a part of the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for making these episodes possible. And on that, we will see you in the next Breaking It Down with Brickitect.